year is 2026. You play as Sam, the system AI for a multinational space station which is currently in orbit around Earth. Chaos erupts as the space station loses power and darkness envelops its narrow corridors. Astronaut Dr. Emma Fisher quickly brings the SAM system back online in her attempt to assess the station's damage and locate the other crew members whose communications have gone silent. You have sustained severe damage and lack any memory of the events that led up to the system crash and subsequent station failure. As you begin to piece together the events which brought you offline, it is clear that something has gone wrong. You are no longer orbiting planet Earth and find yourself outside of planet Saturn while the other crew members are missing in action. Things are intensified when a strange hexagonal object appears in the station and begins to communicate with the cryptic message, "Bring her." It is up to Sam and Dr. Fisher to unravel the mystery surrounding the station's real mission and to identify the Black Monolith's true purpose and observation. If you thought we were describing 2001, A Space Odyssey, you would be right. It is also the same narrative in Observation, with a few twists and changes to prevent No Code from having to pay royalties to Arthur C. Clarke's estate. There is a thin line between inspiration, imitation, and impersonation. The game spends most of its time shifting between the three lines in its attempt to provide us with a unique perspective in the classic science fiction story. There are tense moments worth experiencing, and the fixed and floating camera views provide a voyeuristic approach to the narrative. These moments are frequently interrupted by mundane room searches and point-and-click puzzles which feel like work and not play. Emma can grow on one's nerves and become a psychological burden more than an interesting component of the story. If you have watched 2001, Interstellar, Gravity, Life, or Event Horizon, you will find the story and observation to be lightweight and expected at every point. Instead of venturing into a narrative that tries to be different, we are left with one desperate to clone what has already been successful. The game does attempt to introduce some backstory to each of the astronauts, but grows irrelevant to the main story of Dr. Fisher and Sam. It is clear right out of the gate that story-driven puzzle games are as niche as it gets in PC gaming. You will need patience and an open mind to find enjoyment out of the gameplay elements and controls and observation. The gameplay consists of controlling security cameras that are in fixed locations throughout the entire space station, or a mobility orb which allows Sam to move freely around the station. You will be tasked with navigating into different station compartments and interfacing with control systems and computers in your attempt to bring the station online. These range from discovering passcodes hidden inside the compartments to interface-based puzzles that range from the mundane to convoluted. The game lacks any complexity in its puzzle design and insists on intentionally being vague during many tasks to make up for any real difficulty. The camera controls are slow and tiresome, while the mobility orb is a complete nightmare to control with a keyboard and mouse. Once you learn the gameplay cycle of find the clues and initiate the puzzle, the game does not attempt to diversify itself. You'll most likely resent many periods of gameplay through the narrative. If you love installing computer drivers and setting up Wi-Fi networks, then you will be pleased with the tasks presented to you as gameplay. Instead of becoming excited with each new puzzle, we dreaded them and quickly worked to move on to the next big plot reveal. No Code captured the look and feel of being confined to an international space station in a remarkable form. The attention to detail in each of the compartments far exceeds its competition and is a testament to the lengths No Code went to immerse the player in the world. The particle and lighting effects gives the camera views a distinct visual tone that reminds the player that something isn't right in the station. Camera signals flicker and distort as the station's limited power struggles to keep your camera feeds active. Dr. Fisher looks detailed and floats through the station in true astronaut style and grace. Her orange spacesuit is a pleasant contrast to the white and blue station interior, which makes her easier to find during the more chaotic scenes in observation. The soundtrack is deeply foreshadowing and captures all the fear and wonder of being stranded in the farthest reaches of the solar system. Warning and system alerts are crisp and produce a sense of distress and urgency, while Emma's voice comes across as genuinely afraid and full of anxiety. The station creaks and moans as it struggles to stay pressurized after your unexpected journey to Saturn. This aids in the overall atmosphere that No Code has so expertly crafted. The monolith's communications with Sam are unique and offer an otherworldly tone to an already immersive atmosphere. Their narrative might be slightly generic, but the overall visual and sound design are dripping with character and detail that is sure to interest all who try to solve the secrets of the monolith. Observation is a visually stunning game that can put some stress on systems who only meet the minimum requirements. It can be played at its lowest settings, but to truly experience the game at its highest technical settings, you'll need a graphics card with at least 5 gigs of VRAM. The texture fidelity and visual effects are some of the best in a modern release, and might put the game out of reach for some PC gamers. Occasional frame per second drops and dialogue that were out of sync are the only major technical failures we discovered. The game's controls are some of the worst we have used in a modern release. During certain missions, you will take control of a floating orb that will allow you to free roam inside the station. With an already claustrophobic setting and a lack of gravity, we hated controlling the small orb inside and outside the station. While the narrative and observation is far from original, the experience No Code has developed is immersive and unique in the story-driven puzzle genre. We were able to complete the game in 4 hours, which is very short for a $25 game. Narrative puzzle games tend to be on the short side, favoring an immersive adventure with a captivating story. Unfortunately, the story and observation is far too similar to well-established science fiction stories and doesn't offer enough distinction between itself and its influences. The game is also an Epic Store exclusive, which limits PC gamers' choice on where they can purchase the game, and earned Observation a review penalty for this anti-consumer behavior. No Code traded an innovative story for an immersive and detailed environment, which will have its appeal to hardcore sci-fi fans. If playing as a voyeur AI on a space station isn't your thing, then we cannot recommend its price tag with this brief length of play. If you are a fan of No Code's previous release, Stories Untold, then you will be aware of what to expect in Observation. For those who prefer more action and involvement in their games, you will be turned off by the deliberately slow pacing and narrative buildup. With a predictable story and a short playtime, we recommend waiting for the price to drop before rushing into Observation. At its launch price of $25, you could purchase a Blu-ray copy of Interstellar and 2001: A Space Odyssey while having enough money left over for snacks. Narrative puzzle fans will have a delightful time being caught up in the stunning visuals and dramatic sound design while cursing its clunky controls and busy UI. If you are on the fence, we recommend that you watch our 10-minute gameplay video before making a purchase. We give Observation a 7.3 out of 10, which places it into the category of outstanding. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest PC gaming news and reviews. And also make sure to visit our website at stonepixel.com.